Yes, it was. This feels very familiar. Very good to be back. Very happy.
Did you ever think you'd be wearing these colors again?
I always leave the door open. You just never know. Obviously Chicago is a very special place to me. I was drafted here. I will never close the door on them. So to be back in it, I'm not that surprised, and it feels right.
When you got selected in free agency, one of the things that you said on ESPN was that Angel and Kamilla were kind of big draws for you. Because in this first official practice, what has it been like feeding them inside and having that chemistry build slowly over time?
Oh, it's great. I played a lot with Kamilla today, and just her presence in the paint. She's got great touch. She's got great hands. It's a point guard's dream. And that was something I love. That we're building around them. To have two big post players with big presence, great screeners. All the things are going to be a big part of our offense.
This is your first practice with the Liga MX. What did you see with Kyrie? How was things this first practice? Would you expect them?
It was great. He obviously is very comfortable and knows his stuff. Really attention to detail, which I love. That's really important to me as a veteran. I like the details, and he's very detail oriented, and so I love that. Has confidence in this group, wants us to be like ourselves. That's why we're here, and playing for a coach that just exudes that confidence in you helps a lot. So having him at the rim is great for all of us.
How much difference does this franchise feel since you were away? What kind of changes do you see?
Well, I feel like day one, it's hard to tell. I just got here, and it's new for everyone. But to me, it's still, like I said, very familiar. It's the Chicago Sky. I think we've been on the right path. A lot has changed since my first day here, my rookie year. A lot, other than this building. I think that, like I said, we're on the right path. We're making the right changes, have the right people in place, and it's a really special place to be.
The one thing that Angel has said is veteran presence is something that was really lacking last year, and you're bringing that veteran presence. How do you want to lead as a veteran for this team, for not just Angel and Kamilla, but also all of the other players that have been here and want to learn from under you?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is building a winning culture. And that's one thing that we spent a lot of time in my early years here is building this culture that has the right people in place. You're playing the right way, you're going about things the right way, and it's so important. It leads to championships. We were like a prime example of that, and so I think that was the biggest thing is if we commit to being a team, we sacrifice for another. We are sacrificing for the person next to you. I think that's the kind of culture that you build, and eventually it's going to, brick by brick, it's going to build a championship team.
Can you tell us a little about the video that you guys were all watching?
Yeah, just all the greats, the Chicago Sky greats, congratulating Ann on 20 years. I know for those of you who don't know, she really is the core of the Chicago Sky. She's been here since the beginning. She's seen coach changes, player changes, everything, but she's stuck and she does it all. If you have anything, she's about making the Chicago Sky the best franchise there is, and it's so important to show her how much we appreciate and love her, because it sounds cliche, but this doesn't run without her.
Do you think she has more resources available to her to do her job than when you were here last?
Yes, absolutely. That's so important. It makes her job a lot easier. I remember her trying to find ways to get us to what we need, but now she has it. Anything she needs. So things have changed, and that's a great thing about this. Is it's going to make her job a lot easier.
When you talk about her struggling to find ways, can you give any examples of that? Just what that looked like in the past?
Yeah, I don't want, just to show the growth. I don't want to embarrass the club, but we were ice bathing in garbage cans when I first got here, just because we didn't have access to ice baths. So she's out there, getting the water bucket by bucket, making sure that we have somewhere to recover. And now we have beautiful ice baths. And that's just kind of the change. But she would do anything. She would do it again. If we needed an ice bath and I said I want a garbage can, she would be the one to do it, and she would do it with a smile on her face. And that just shows how much she's willing to, give for this franchise.
Courtney, do you believe that Unrivaled was a game changer for what women's basketball players deserve?
I think that It was a big stepping stone. You know, I think it was a great example of what could be. I think that we've been making strides even before Unrivaled came, but I think it's an example of like just how much money people are willing to put into the game, how successful it can be if we have the resources at our disposal. And yeah, I think it's a great way to feed off that Unrivaled and the WNBA. We're trying to make changes and things are going in the right direction.
Did that help you do your job better? Do you feel more with the extra support that you were able to play
I do,
better on the
yes,
court?
I do. I think having that everything there for us, whatever we need, it just, you know, you're not worried about anything other than being your best. And that's what Unrivaled was all about, was just being able to compete at our best because we have everything we need.
What were your initial impressions of Haley and Maddie?
Yeah, I think they were great. You know, day one is it's hard. There's a lot of people. The reps are low, but you know they both competed really well. I think Maddie tried really hard on trying to find her fit. Haley's a competitor and she competes hard. I think day two will be better for them, but you know I see a lot of growth there though.
Haley talked about being really excited about working with you specifically. She noted that your guys' game is very different. What do you feel like you want to kind of maybe help her with? What do you feel like she just kind of stands out to you about Haley's game as well?
Yeah, just being able to find how to be a point guard in this league. You know, I think that sometimes she's been a little bit off the ball. Point guard's maybe not as natural for her, at least in terms of like distributing or running a club. She can score the ball, she can make the right pass, but just the little nuances in terms of like spacing, timing, when to give it up, when not to, just how to impact the game without the ball always in your hands, I think, too.